In round 10 of Turkish Championship in Antalya, we had black pieces in game with Grandmaster Baris Esen. He's a good friend of mine, and also he's a quite strong player with very good openings, I would say. I prepared a lot and I decided to go for King's Indian defense because, well, I thought his love was somehow better maybe. So after d4, I played knight f6. I started with d6 actually to, well, maybe avoid some lines without knight f3. But okay, I was quite sure he would play Fianchetto line, so it doesn't really matter so much. Now I played knight f6, g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, c4, castle, castle d7, knight c3, e5. This is the old main line of Fianchetto variation in King's Indian. Nowadays, people with black prefer to put knight on c6 and then play with a6, rook b8 and b5. After e4, now generally players start with c6, but I decided to take this pawn immediately. And after knight takes d4, to play just a6. I don't like playing this position the normal way. I think somehow white has enough resources to protect his center, and then he can slowly improve the position. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make some quick play while my pieces are active. I want to put my rook to b8, then jump with my knights to e5, then push c5, and if possible also b5. After a6, Baris played h3. It is normal move. Just g4 square is very important in this line, so that white can develop his bishop to e3 safely. And normally white always plays this move. I was expecting this and I played rook b8. And okay, white now has options. He can play bishop e3 or rook e1. But I was also expecting move a4 because I saw that Baris in similar situations uses this strategy. And now I was ready to block the queen side with move a5. It looks like I lost tempo, but actually I secured the c5 square for my knight and also b4 square maybe for my other knight. Now black's idea is to put knights to c5 and b4. This is the most important thing in this position. Sometimes it is good to place the pawn on c6, but okay, as we'll see, Baris now played knight d to b5 and he doesn't let me have my pawn on c6. So he will also have some squares for himself. And I started with my plan, knight goes to c5. And I was expecting maybe bishop f4, because I think this is what Baris once used. But today he played quickly bishop e3, so I had no doubt that it was some kind of preparation or something like that. And okay, normal move here might be knight f to d7. It is a possible move, but okay, this knight is going to e5, c6 and b4, for example, winning some time in the way. But maybe, I don't know, maybe white can play f4, and I don't know if I can bring this knight so easily. I also have other plan. I can just go with this knight to a6, then put knight from d7 to c5 and jump with the other knight to b4. This is maybe what I had to do. Maybe this is better than what I played in the game. Because now there is a threat e5, so I cannot play, let's say, bishop e6, because white pushes e5, and okay, maybe I can still fight here, but it looks a bit dangerous for me. So I decided to play b6 here, And I use the fact that I don't have pawn on c6 to develop my bishop to b7 and well, force white to protect his pawn on e4 with f3, which will maybe make his pawn structure on king side a bit vulnerable. After I played b6, I understood white has option to push e5 and then exchange queens and then take the pawn on c7. But okay, I have some weaknesses, I have some weak squares, but I also have some good squares for my pieces, and I can probably develop bishop to f5. And white has his play, I have my play. I'm not sure whose position is better. Baris didn't consider this even. As he said after the game, he played queen c2 because he understood that this position was not so good for him. And he played queen c2 where he was thinking that he still has some pressure. He liked his position. And okay, now I started with my plan. I want to provoke f3. So Baris put his one rook to the central file, a very normal move. And I played bishop to b7. And he protected his pawn. This is the only way. Okay, of course, maybe white can sometimes jump to d5 or take my knight, but these are somehow favorable for me from positional point of view. So he didn't want to give this bishop yet, and he played f3. He wanted to keep all the options open. And now, okay, I did what I could do. Now white is controlling all parts of the board, so now I should bring my knight to b4, and I started with knight d7. I want to jump to e5, then c6, then b4. Also, when I jump to e5, white will have to think about his pawn on c4. So I was thinking that Baris should go bishop f2, and after knight e5, that he would play f4. Now I cannot take the pawn because of e3, and my knight is lost. So actually I was planning to play after bishop f2, knight a6, not knight e5, and then bring my knights to b4 and c5. And then I was thinking my position was good, because generally I know if I manage to put knights to these places, my position should be okay. Baris played rook fe1, which is probably a better move. I thought that here I would be able to play knight to e5, attacking the pawn on c4, and after b3, knight c6. But now I saw that white has the move knight d5 here, and I cannot jump to b4 because after knight b4 and exchange, my pawn on b4 is really weak, and it's possible that I'm going to lose this pawn. So I decided to play anyway according to my previous intentions, just knight a6, and then bring my two knights to perfect places. Well, f4 is a normal move because his structure on the king side is not good. Now he has some time, so he uses it to take e5 square, open his bishop. Now pawn on e4 is no longer in danger. It's protected 3 times, and white can easily protect it one more time if necessary. And I'm only attacking twice. So now I had some choice maybe, but I like to play knight b4 and attack his queen immediately to see where the queen will go, because later he might choose some better square, and now I might maybe base my play on where he goes with his queen. To me, b1 and f2 looked like most logical squares. b1 is somehow limiting my knight, but also queen is a bit passive, and I think Baris was right to play queen to f2. It is just some positional reasoning. We didn't calculate some very long lines. And now I want to jump with my knight to c5. This was my intention, but here I cannot, because white can take on c5, and after b takes, he can push e5. And now, positionally, it's very bad for me, because these bishops will be exchanged, for example like this, and now my pawn on d6 is under attack. If I don't want to lose this pawn, I have to protect it. It will bishop f8, but then knight can come to e4. Okay, this position is terrible. So, but I need knight c5, so I have to prepare somehow this move. And I was thinking if to play here, I was mostly considering two ideas. One was to play rook c8, and then queen to e7, for example, and then jump knight c5. Other idea was a bit faster, to go queen c8 and immediately knight c5 on the next move. So both of these ideas I liked at first. But then I saw after rook c8, white can play, for example, some improving move, king h2. And if I try to go according to my plan, queen e7, again I was not sure that knight c5 would be possible on the next move, because white will always have some e5 ideas. My bishop on b7 might be hanging, white can insert. Even here maybe it's possible. He can play e5, yes, here it's possible. I must take on g2, and white can insert, because my queen is not well placed on e7. He can now take on d6, and this position is not good. So somehow after just normal move king g2, I wasn't able to continue, and I decided to play queen c8. Now I want to jump with my knight to c5. This knight will be very good, and there are many targets in white's camp: a4, c4, d3 square, e4 pawn, h3 is also a little bit weak, and he must think about all of these pawns, and it's not so easy, I guess. So I was mostly thinking about making some concrete play for him. Of course, he can play knight a7, I have to go back, and he can repeat the position. It is one very serious option, because my position looks nice, it looks solid. I have enough squares for my pieces. And the other option is, here I thought to try to push e5 somehow. So maybe after knight a7, queen d8, he can try to go e5. And at first I thought I would exchange bishops. White can take with the queen, and then I would take the pawn on e5. I didn't see anything better. Then I saw move knight c6 for white, and suddenly this started to look dangerous, because I have to take here. White takes with the queen. Now my d7 knight is hanging, and if I go rook e7, knight might come to d5. So this looked scary and dangerous. And then I saw that I shouldn't exchange bishops on g2, but after e5 I should immediately take. Now there is some pin on the file, but white cannot use it, and his position is probably not very good. So in this position, Baris played knight a7, and after queen d8 he played back. I didn't think too much, because there was no reason to think my position was better, and tournament situation was such that I was really happy with draw, because before this round I was leading alone, and there are only 2 more rounds until the end. So I just rather quickly decided to repeat the position, and I was surprised to see immediately knight d5 coming from Baris' side. So he was obviously not happy with the draw here, and he was in mode to play. And the tournament situation actually was like this, that he needed to try to win this game. Okay, I must take on d5 because my pawn on c7 is hanging, and obviously my knight on b4 here is stronger piece, so I gave bishop for this knight. If white takes with e-pawn, I do not have absolutely any problem. I saw that I could even jump on c5 immediately, and after bishop takes c5, probably white has to take. I can take on e1, and now if white takes with rook, well, I can even jump to d3. This move I didn't see. I saw I could take here, and now if white goes rook e7, I can take b5 and then put my bishop to d4. Okay, this is not necessary because I have even better move. But in any case, strategically, it's not good for white to take with e-pawn. Now all my pieces are well placed. I will double my rooks on e, and if he takes with c5, it also looks like I have maybe even some advantage. His king is a bit weaker, and pawn on b2 is also a bit weak. So he took quickly with c-pawn, and well, I jumped to c5. This was my idea. With my knight, now I'm attacking e4, a4, d3, so white has to take this knight. He did not tolerate it. And of course, this would be almost like a suicide. I give these two passed pawns for white, and after e5, my position is probably close to lost. So of course I took with this pawn, opened also my rook a bit, and well, now we have some different, also very interesting position. And white has options. He can try to put his knight to c4 or his bishop to c4. He can play h3, king h2, bishop h3. He can sometimes try to push e5 because his pieces are well placed for some action, but so are mine. And after e5, I was probably going to take this pawn, or not. I think well, I'm not sure, maybe I didn't even consider moving e5 in this position. Yes, probably here I didn't consider anything because this position just appeared, it was all new. e5 I should look at, because now if e takes here, maybe d6, this looks quite dangerous. So after e5, what should I do? Well, I don't know. Maybe this was the right way for him to play. Okay, he wanted to play, as he said after the game, he wanted to play maybe h4, but he was afraid of such move, rook b5, a takes b5, and bishop d4. Rook takes d4, c takes d4, and now he cannot take the pawn because of knight c2. And now he has this bishop that can be bad, and my pawn can go to d3. He has weak pawn on e4 and on d5, so maybe it can be even unpleasant for him. And that's why he played king to h2. Not here. Immediately, king to h2. Okay, this is of course a useful move. And well, I also played a normal move because my pawn on c7 needs some extra protection, and I must find some squares for my pieces, because I obviously don't want just to wait. So I played rook e7, and now my idea is to put queen to f8 and my other rook to e8, and then maybe push f5. And I saw if white pushes e5, I can take on e5, and when white takes on c5, I was planning just to protect my rook. I saw moves like queen d8, queen d7, or bishop f8, okay, or even like this. So maybe one of the lines I saw was like this, queen d7. Now I thought white should probably try to push d6. Then I can take. He takes the rook with rook. It looks like he has some activity maybe, but I can just go queen c8. Now I want to exchange queens, and material is same. b2 can be a little bit weak, and okay, I thought my position was really good here. So I was more worried about him bringing bishop to c4 or bringing knight to c4 or playing h4, But okay, I thought in any case I would have some counterplay, and I thought my position was okay here. And he played h4 here, and now he offered a draw, and I offered the draw in this game after the opening, I forgot to say, but he didn't accept. Then he had one more chance when he repeated moves once with knight a7, knight e5. He also wanted to play, and now he decided to offer the draw. Probably he didn't like something about the position. I didn't think my position was better. White has everything, all pieces are well placed. He has some pawns in the center, no special weaknesses, and I decided to accept his offer. I was probably going to play queen f8 because this move looks like the most harmonious one to me, and well, I was expecting him to try to somehow push e5 at some point, because if he doesn't, maybe slowly he will start having some problems. I want to play my rook to e8 and then maybe push f5. Maybe this should be my idea. Okay, in any case, position is still very complex and quite playable for both sides. And okay, I must say it will be really interesting to see what would happen, but for me this draw was a good result. One round before the end, and before the last round I'm sharing first and second place with Alexei Patov, and we are going to have a very exciting final round. Now, okay, we can check a bit with the help of computing. So let's start from around here, because this position is still preparation. a5, knight d5, and computer is saying, okay, typically this position is already better for black. I know for this situation, but actually it's not, of course, so simple, because black has active pieces, but if white manages to hold black pieces and then start slowly withdrawing, then black will end up having problems. So black must make some activity here. And okay, knight c5 looks good. So he played bishop e3. Knight f7, best for computer. b6 not bad, they are similar, and knight f7 is also possible. Okay, b6 is a normal move. e5 around default position. So let's check queen c2. Okay, position is around equal according to the machine. Now Houdini wants to give the bishop, but I'm not sure about this. Let's check a bit. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and now look at e1. Well, I'm pretty sure my position is good with my strong bishop on g7. I cannot have problems here. Okay, I agree, maybe it was playable for white too. I can try to put my knight to d4. For example, I can start with this, with idea knight e5, knight e6, or knight f8, knight e6. Machine suggests knight d5, and after I take, machine wants to take with a pawn. Here it is. Well, it might be correct that this position is a bit better for white, because my pawn on a5 needs some protection, but also his knight on b5 is maybe a bit out of play. Okay, I exchange rooks, of course. And what should I do now? Do I have some problems here or not? Okay, I might have maybe some very small problems, but his bishop cannot be very dangerous here. If I exchange queens, well, the problem is also with my c7 pawn. So I will have to agree that okay, I have two weaknesses here, c7 and a5. And although I think it's not very safe, still I must admit that the white's position is a bit better, so machine is probably right again. So maybe after knight d5 I should try to play something else and not take immediately, maybe rook c8 to take pawn. Now I might want sometimes to push c6, but probably not. White will take on d6, then take my rook. Have two pawns and rook for my two pieces and two pawns in center. So maybe it's possible that this was the right way for white to continue, and maybe he has some small advantage. Okay. But Baris played f3. Now computer says knight h5 is his favorite move, and I was thinking white will go bishop f2 to protect on g3 and also stop some possible f5 sometimes. So machine even gives this bishop. I cannot believe this, that it's possible to give this bishop. And now knight a6 and claims that black is better here. Well, I would bet my life that white is the one who has advantage, but who knows? I might be wrong. I don't understand any reason why black would be better here. And I would even say that black might be already in a serious trouble, because I don't see what he's going to do. White will improve his position easily. Bishop goes to d4, maybe king h2, f4. I think soon black will start having problems here. So I don't agree this time with the machine. Absolutely not. Okay. So I played knight to d7. Rook g1. I think it's a normal move. Machine wants to take very much on c3, something that I really cannot understand. Okay, knight a6 now is first move even for the winner. f1 looks very normal. Okay, it is best. Bishop c3 again. It is always the same idea, but okay. I don't like this idea, so I play knight b4. It is also one of the normal moves. In f2, also normal. And queen c8. Well, it is not in the list, but I'm sure the move is okay. Bishop c3, of course, out of question. Maybe rook e7 can be interesting, but I don't know. Okay, I like queen c8 because I think I should really make this maneuver, put my knight to c5. Okay, rook f1, I don't believe in such things. So knight a7, queen d8. White repeats once. Then he jumps to d5, which is a normal move, of course. I should take with the bishop, he takes with c pawn. And now machine doesn't like knight c5. I thought it was a normal move, but maybe there was not so much hurry. Maybe machine can be right about that. Still, I don't know. It's not easy to play something. Rook e7 might be a useful move, but other than that, I don't want to play something like queen d8. So okay, I think I will have to play this sooner or later, so I just played it immediately. And okay, e5 was possible here. And now it looks like I cannot take because of this 6. This I was not considering it, or to be honest. So here I would have to do something else. What else? Maybe rook e7. Rook e7 with the idea to put queen to d7 and bring other rook to e8. King white take on d6, then I take in game 1. He should take with the queen because of knight d3, bishop d4 and similar things. I take. Machine is not wanted here. Knight takes d6, but I lost a pawn. Queen d8 says for the knight goes back to d5, and black goes knight c2, queen e2, knight d4. Now pawn b2 is a bit weak. White tries to protect still pawn b5, but I can attack this knight, also create some threats. Okay, position is unclear, probably incorrect, it's a draw. But if I was an interesting move that I somehow underestimated. So king h2. Queen d7. I didn't want to play queen d7 because I thought after h4 and bishop h3 this queen wouldn't be so great. And I don't know what my rook is doing on b6. I was not considering at all such moves. I was only considering this, but then maybe bishop h3, and now I cannot bring my other rook where I want. So I want to start with rook e7. I think this is a good move. e5, okay, it's possible, but position is around equal. And h4. Okay, position is with equal chances. And of course very interesting. Not balanced. It's not symmetrical. So I have some weaknesses, but so does white. And not okay. Let's say chances are equal.